2025 is filled with so many games to be excited about, and there's still so many in my Steam library waiting for me to play them. I have no idea how I'm going to keep up with all this. This year seems like a dream come true for me. Slay the Spire 2 is on the way to ruin all of our lives, the sequel to one of the greatest games in history. I've never been attracted to card battle games, and it's rare for me to get into turn-based stuff, but Slay the Spire's way of handling turn-based combat and not relying on RNG damage and critical hits makes it a wonderfully rewarding game to play as well as difficult to master. I can't wait to see how they innovate on the formula, and I love the art style. Of course, we also have Doom: The Dark Ages, id Software's ambitious new direction for the legendary series. I don't know if I could ever like a Doom more than I do Doom Eternal, but I'm very excited to see how this new game is going to test me. Grounded movement and emphasis on melee, more exploration-based maps, customizable woke difficulty options, it's going to be crazy. And it's going to be cool to see how the story plays out. I'm hoping we get to see the origin of the Marauders. I'm actually kind of interested in Atomfall. Marketed as a survival action game inspired by real-life events, you're wandering an area of northern England after a nuclear disaster. I can't really put my finger on why exactly this one has my attention, as it doesn't look like something I'm normally into, but just consider me interested for the time being. I have a feeling this one is gonna live and die on the enemy AI. If it's just a bunch of dummies, it's gonna lose me. In the survival horror space, we are in for quite a year. We already got the Mute House, which was a wonderful old school experience. And though The Killing Antidote came out last year, the second chapter is set for this year, and I can't wait to finish it. What a surprisingly good game. And coming up we have Echoes of the Living, which is the most classic Resident Evil looking thing I've ever seen. I literally do not need to know more about this game, I just see the way it looks and I'm in. I donated $50 to the project since it's a two-person team, husband and wife, and this is probably my most anticipated horror game of the year. Right behind that, in terms of anticipation, in a more ambitious style, is Heartworm. Just look at this game, it's got a vibe, and I adore the PS1 graphic style. I played the demo and it has great potential, and it got signed to publisher Dread XP, which put out My Friendly Neighborhood a couple years ago, a pretty good survival horror game in itself. The look of Heartworm should immediately sell you on it, really. If it doesn't, what the hell's wrong with you? Maybe you need something a little more visceral and violent. How about a game called The Lacerator, also published by Dread XP? Fixed camera and over-the-shoulder, tank controls, and brutal dismemberment that changes how the game plays out and even where you're able to go. The Lacerator oozes attitude and blood. I also want to include Liminal Point, Holston, and Astral Rot, but they don't have release dates yet. Check them out though. Finally, we get to the action games. I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4, right? A new Ninja Gaiden. It's been so long. Will this signal the grand return of the fast-paced character action genre? Will every game stop being Dark Souls and start letting us super jump and style switch our way to victory? Probably not, but we desperately need something. DMC5 was 55 years ago. We need a big budget action title to reclaim the throne. But we're not just waiting for Ninja Gaiden, we have several other action-packed hack-and-slashin' beat-em-uppin' titles on the way. Double Dragon Revive looks awesome. Side-scrolling action on a 3D plane, classic arcade beat-em-up gameplay that looks to have a good amount of depth. The Double Dragon license is definitely an inconsistent one, but there's a lot of hope that this one will be the winner. And there's 2 more action games on the way without release dates. I'm hoping we get them this year, but it may be 2026. Acts of Blood looks like a more brutal, violent, extreme Sifu. That's all I need to know, this one's gonna be amazing. And Spine is somewhat similar, but more futuristic and punky, with a lot of guns mixed into the melee. I need both these games right now. Finally, it's not an action title, but it is loaded with action. It's Rising Heat, an awesome roguelike wave-based arcade-style shooter that I've been doing a lot of collaboration on, so obviously I'm excited to see it finally come out. Make sure you go wishlist it on Steam. And that's my list. I'm sure there's more out there, but this is what immediately comes to mind. Maybe we'll get a new Resident Evil, who knows? What is that? Is that Mayo sounding optimistic about the year in gaming? What's going on here? Stay tuned for a bunch of reviews, maybe some strategy videos. It would be cool to score some new interviews. Let me know if there are any YouTubers or game developers you'd like me to reach out to, and I'll see if I can hook something up.